I'm here with another video, and I thought about doing a long-term review of the makeup products that I've had for the past few years, because I think that the makeup industry, the turnover is so fast that you only get first impressions and reviews, but you don't necessarily have reviews on quality and how long these products will last for you and how well they hold up through the battery of years of use. So I'm doing one specifically on one of my first few product reviews, and that's the Real Techniques Everyday Essentials brush set. I did review them a couple of years back, and now they've gone through around 4 years of use. I would like to show you how they still hold up and what I like and what I've learned about using them throughout the years. So for the first thing that I'm gonna do, I am going to use the Real Techniques 200. This is the Expert Face Brush. Everybody says that this is a good face brush for foundation or base, and I agree. I've used this for more than just foundation. I've also used this for priming my face and cream or liquid, no, cream and liquid bronzer and blush. What I do like about it is, if you can see that this is years of wear, there is a little bit of scratching on the ferrule, on the base of the brush. The ferrule is generally good. Granted, this is not one of my used brushes in my collection, mainly because I don't usually use brushes for my face products before. I only really got to appreciate using face brushes a year after I got this, because I finally learned how to use this properly. And when using it properly, it's really a combination of the dab and swipe motion, just so that you get everything blended out. The real reason I like this for base and primer specifically is it tends to swipe on product in a thin and even layer compared to when I do it with my fingers. So that's one of the things that I like about it. One of the cons, however, in using this brush, since the base, the bristles are very poofed up and in a curved angle like that, and it's generally, the surface area is small. If you're using a liquid or cream foundation, that's fine. If it doesn't set quickly, it's great. This is good for that. It doesn't leave streaks. It makes your face makeup look like it's part of your skin. However, if you use it with a matte foundation like what I'm using today, it's not that best. It's not good if you use it all in one go, like you add dots of foundation all over your face and then you start blending it out, because eventually the foundation will dry on your face before this small brush can blend through all of it. So if you are going to use it with a matte foundation, I suggest you do patches of your face first before you move on to the next part, because you don't want the foundation to set on you immediately. So what I'm doing, I'm using the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This is in the shade Punjab. I've had this also for a year, so I might do a review on this one as well eventually, but not right now. I'm gonna focus on the brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take a small dollop of the foundation, and then I'm gonna start first in a small section of my space, and I am going to start blending that out before the foundation dries on me. So as I mentioned a while ago, the best way to do this or use this brush is to do the dab and swipe motion, like what I'm doing right now. In my first video, I didn't really know how to do this, because 2016 YouTube taught me that foundation brushes are for buffing out foundation. Turns out that's not the case. So if you see, there are still areas that I need to focus on. I will go over those areas quickly with the bristles and dab and swipe my way into blending it out onto the skin. And that way, I get a nice even layer of foundation on my skin. Nothing looks cakey, nothing looks too thick. And everything looks well adhered to my skin. So that's the only gripe I really have with this foundation brush. Otherwise, this is a really good buy, just because of the versatility of the brush itself. See? Really nice, easy to use, no problems at all. So I suggest also that if you're using a foundation with a thicker formula or a higher coverage, since brushes tend to help increase the coverage of your foundation because it's not absorbing any product, or it doesn't absorb product as much as a sponge would, I suggest doing really thin applications of foundation at a time so that you can easily blend it out and make it look like skin. So this is what it looks like right now, especially when it comes to ladies like me with textured skin. I suggest doing that thin foundation method only because you don't want the foundation to pile on your dots or your marks or fine lines on your face. See? Really nice thin layers. And then if you want to increase coverage more, like for example, if you wanted to cover your spots, which I might be doing a little bit today, I will go over this again with another thin application of the product. And as you can see, this brush, because it has like this curved body, I can go into the corners of my nose and blend foundation as well. It's also good for use in concealer. I might show you, well, I will show you how to use it with concealer in a bit. Again, small amount of foundation, not a lot, just so that you can easily blend the foundation on your skin without being worried about whether it looks cakey or not. So in essence, you can use this with any formula of foundation. You just have to be very vigilant about the drying or the setting time of these foundations. So again, I am going to go into my areas with spots with additional foundation. And as you can see, because of the densely packed bristles on the head, not only does it help increase the coverage of your foundation on your skin, it also helps blend it out seamlessly. So I'm also gonna show you how to use this with bronzer, just so that we hit all of the marks on the benefits of using this brush. Alone, this brush costs around $600. The standard Real Techniques cost for foundation brushes or big brushes like this in general. And that's actually a good buy because 4 years of use and hardly any wear on the brush itself. If you look closely, the bristles aren't bent as much as it would for cheaper brushes. The Taclon fibers really do hold up well through the years. And I say that is a good return on investment. So I'm gonna blend foundation down the neck just to even out the complexion a bit. And you can also use the brush to pick up excess product, and then it will seamlessly blend the product down your neck as well. No problem. See, it easily deposits product and doesn't absorb as much if you would use a sponge. Okay, next, I'm going to set my face with translucent powder using the blush brush in the collection. I forgot the number because throughout the years, this is my most used brush from the collection. It still has its nice poofy top, Unlike the Expert Face Brush, it is more fluffy because that's what you need for powder products like blush, bronzer, and powder. However, I realized that I don't like using this for setting the face with face powder only because of how small the surface area is, and when you want to set your face, you want to set it with the least amount of powder as possible so that you don't look cakey and it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. This is way better for bronzer because it's more targeted toward the cheekbones and also the apples of the cheek for when you're doing blush. So I'm going to show you how I use it anyway for setting powder. I did realize that a lot of the product placement is dependent on how much product you put on or you let onto the brush. So I will go ahead and pick up some of the powder from the puff, and then what I like to do back then is I would take the product and I would swirl it on my palm. This is not a unique technique. This is something that makeup YouTuber and artist Hindash, figure out his name in a while, but he's also the dude who came up with the powder puff method of pressing and rolling. I'll remember his name in a bit. But as you can see, it's really good, again, still at setting the face and keeping things light. There, as you can see, not a lot of cakiness, still pretty good. I would press the powder onto the skin instead of swiping it so that I don't mess up my base. As long as you keep doing this method, you'll be fine. So I'm setting the places in my face that I need more help with wear. My T-zone, my forehead, a little bit on the inner cheek area, and on the chin where my lines are. Now, I know this is odd. You think I forgot concealer. No, not really. I'm using a more liquidy formula. That's why I put it on after I apply powder. And no, it doesn't get cakey after I apply it because I do just a little bit on each inner corner and on the outer corner of the eye. Again, not a unique makeup technique. I'm going in with the foundation brush and I'm going to blend it out really quickly just to highlight and lift portions of my eye area. So as you can see, it is good at blending base makeup. However, the size might not be ideal for concealer. It does its job though really well. And because you have that foundation already on the brush, it will blend seamlessly with the rest of the base makeup. There you go. See? Nice, natural, easy. Easy. Great. And I'm gonna go back and set that with powder. Swirling method. Okay, another reason why this isn't ideal for setting the face, because the top of the brush bristles are rounded, it doesn't really get into the sides of the nose where the inner corner is accurately. So again, up to you. Then let's go into bronzing. I'm gonna use a cream bronzer. This is the Nars Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream in the shade Laguna. I usually would take a bit of product with my hand just so that we can melt it onto the back of my hand so that product doesn't clump on the brush and we get a more seamless finish. You can do the same thing, like for example what I'm gonna do right now, dot a little bit of the bronzer that is left on my fingers on the outer rim of my face. And then what you can do is take the product on the bristles of the brush and just start bronzing easily. Because of the dense bristles, this is also very ideal for cream bronzers, blushes, etc. I would suggest that you be careful with it when you're using it for example, the sides of the nose, which I will show you in a bit. I'm not gonna put as much bronzer on the sides of the nose with cream because it's gonna melt away anyway, and it's a really hot day, it's summer. So I'm just going to take whatever is left on my hand on the brush, and I'm going to pinch the bristles a little bit just to bronze up the middle of the face. I'm not contouring my nose. Like Bobbi Brown, I believe you don't need to contour your face or change the shape of your face. You just need to accentuate what you already have. So there, if you can see, bronzer is blended out seamlessly onto the skin. The Teflon fibers don't mess with the base that we've already placed on the face. So that is really helpful. Next, I'm going to use a cream blush. This is the Nars Freedom Air Matte Blush. That's the shade Freedom. And it's a airy cream type product, and that's where the next brush comes in. And this is the Real Techniques 402 brush, the setting brush. Ironically, I don't like using this for setting because even though it has virtually the same shape and density as the powder brush, I feel like it's still too dense for like a light setting of powder underneath the eye. So I do essentially just use this for bronzing the sides of the nose or blushing, the apples of the cheek, which I will show you right now. So I take product directly on the brush, like so, and scrape a little bit on my arm or my hand, and then I proceed to dab that. Because the brush is fluffy, it is really good at applying more pigment heavy products like cream blushes that essentially are very scary for people because it's so easy to go overboard with blush, but not when you use the setting brush. This is also good for highlight. I'll use it for highlight in a bit. I can easily remove product from the brushes just by swiping it on my hand. So there, that is the performance of the brush when you use it for applying cream blushes like this. A little bit on the center of the nose. Ta-da! Very nice. Next, I will set the cream that we applied with powder products. I'm going to use my Bahama Mama bronzer, which I will be applying using the blush brush. Again, when you use it, I usually just dab and like twist the brush just so that I have an even coating on the top part of the brush, and then just lightly sweep it in circles. There you go. And because, again, super fluffy, really like the build of this brush. It looks natural. It doesn't look heavy, doesn't look cakey. Then we're going to be applying a matte blush. This is the shade Freedom by Happy Skin from their Catherine Bernardo collection. Again, twist the brush, dab and twist so that you have a nice, thin, even coating of product on the top, and apply heavily. There you go. There. Next, highlight. So for highlight, this is actually a pretty good brush to use. However, I prefer another Real Techniques brush. It's called the Rebel Edge Medium because of how fluffy it is. I don't like really out their highlight. I like doing it very naturally. So I'm using the Pixie by Tetra Glowy Gossamer Duo in Delicate Dew. And I'm using this, I'm using this gold shade right here. Okay, just very little, because this is a very high impact highlighter. See? Oh, that's crazy. And I like to swirl the brush on the skin so that it doesn't look like just one strip of highlight. I hate that look. Okay, there. And then just a little bit on the bridge of the nose and on the top of the lid. Because this is also small, you can also use it to apply shadow onto the lid. If you just want a wash of color, which is what I'm going to do today, I'm going to pick up that same highlight and apply it liberally on my eyelid. See? Very nice. And because it's fluffy, deposit of product is thin. It doesn't look cakey. There's less product buildup when you apply it with this brush. Ta-da! Then, final brush in the collection is the Deluxe Crease brush. Now, my only gripe with this brush is it's too dense to blend color in, and it's too big for Asian eyes. Do you see how big the circumference of the brush is? It's that big. So what I would do just for demo is I'm going to maybe add color onto the lid, and then maybe cut out the crease a little bit with bronzer. So I am dipping into my blush again. By the way, same blush in the video. I still have it. There's just a little bit of blush left. And then I'm going to pack on product to the lid. So if I don't like using this for eyeshadow, mainly I just use it for concealer application. So because it's so small and dense, it can really get into the center or the corner of the eye and blend it out nicely. But just for example, I'm using this for eyeshadow because that was what it was meant for. As you can see, it's not getting there accurately. It's not good for Asian eyes. So better use it for concealer, or you can also use it to apply a thin layer of primer on your eyelids, just so that you can get it evenly and you don't get that cakiness. Then I'm going to dip into my bronzer and use that to deepen the crease. Oh, there it is. It removes some of the nice glitter that we applied a while ago. Because it's so dense, it's not meant for blending. I don't know why you would use a thick brush for the crease, but I guess this is the only kind of flop in the collection. But because it's so nicely built, you can easily use it for something else in your makeup routine. So in essence, all of the brushes are really good. You just have to be more creative with how you use them in your regular routine, depending on the build of your face and how much you need the brush to work for their specific designated need. So there it is. I'm gonna apply back some of that highlight that we lost, because I like the glossy look. There you go. And then I'm gonna complete the rest of my face off camera, and then we'll do one final evaluation of the collection. The final look, and I've just done a little bit of my brows, my eyes, like eyeliner, mascara, and some lipstick. But that's it. Let's see how the brushes apply the makeup well. So as you can see, Foundation isn't peeling on the side of my nose. The blush, the bronzer, and the highlight are all blended well. Concealer not peeling. No cakiness from powder, anything at all. Eyes could do better, but I did improve them a little bit with some of my smaller eye brushes that are way more designed for Asian eyes. But that's what the foundation looks like. That's how the whole look looks like. With this 4-year-old brush set, they still work really good. So yeah, that's my long-term review of the Real Techniques Everyday Essentials brush set. Of course, this set originally came with a sponge, but I don't have that sponge anymore because I threw it away. You're only supposed to use sponges, blending sponges in general, for around 3 months tops, and then you have to get rid of them because of sanitation purposes. But the brushes themselves, you actually have a very good deal with these 4 brushes in the set. Usually brushes like this, like the foundation brush or the blush brush, they come at $650 each, but you get them in a set with 2 other really versatile brushes for only $1,100, and even less if there are any sales in e-commerce store, their official Lazada or Shopee stores. You can also get them in retail, SM malls, department stores, etc. But that's it. The brushes are really good. They kept well all of these years. All I've ever done with them is wash them day in, day out. Yes, some of the bristles are gonna be a little bent at the top because the more that you use it on your face, the more that the sharp pointy edges of each of the bristles will bend throughout time. But I would say, for the amount of use that I've gotten from them for the past 4 years, they're holding up really well. The shape is still intact. I have never had bristle fall out from them ever since I was washing them. None of the bristles ever fell from the ferrule itself. I've not had a lot of shedding, even for the fluffier brushes. So that's a testament to how well this brush and this brush and this brush were all made. And I really like the design and the quality of the material used for the brushes. Of course, there are signs of wear on the base of the brush, but for how well it's made, I really think this brush set is really made to last. Usually, regular brushes that you get on the market would have a short ferrule, and then you'd have the long handle after, which actually is a standard design, but the standard design does have a bit of a backlash. If you wash the brushes, there is a high tendency for water to go into the ferrule and remove the glue that attaches it to the handle. Whereas the Real Techniques brushes, they increase the size of the ferrule so that the base is far away. So if you dip your brush in water while you're cleaning it, there's less chance of you ruining it by washing it. So if you would ask me if this is worth it, definitely, for the amount of time I've been using it, for the price I had for it. Of course, ever since this launched, there had been a lot of brush sets out there that are way cheaper and offer more brushes for less money. But I would say that you can never go wrong with the Real Techniques brush sets, only because of the quality that goes into it, the amount of time you will definitely be using it for, and the versatility of that. That's it for the review. I hope you like it. I'm looking forward to doing more long-term reviews for makeup products and tools in the future. Let me know what you like and dislike, and if you like this video at all, it would be a really great help for the channel. And if you have any requests or product reviews, I'll try to get it up. But definitely the next review I'm looking at is a long-term review of the Nars Soft Matte Foundation, the one that I've used today. I have a lot of thoughts, and if you are just like me, you're looking for the next best makeup find or makeup review in general, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!